She's danced the night away last weekend, but how are their moves shaping up for Saturday? For the first time this series, let's get warmed up. Brother from another mother, Ian Waite.
I brought my fans along. So
I missed you, baby. I missed you.
Oh, and I had a haircut and a shave.
Shave, that's the word you're looking for. Can we just say, love is in the air at Strictly Come Dancing. You got engaged. You got engaged.
There's definitely something in the air. Everybody's getting engaged.
Devastated. I know. Well done. That's absolutely gorgeous. So, all our couples. We're going to discuss 9 of our couples today, and then more tomorrow. Double helping of Ian. Were you impressed with the standards?
It was amazing, wasn't it? For the first week. I mean, there were a few that are obviously at the bottom of the leaderboard, but I think it'll all be turned around because certain people who are better at Latin aren't going to be so good at ballroom. So we're going to see a very different result this weekend.
This weekend, very exciting. OK, let's talk about our new boy Gleb and Anita. Last weekend, great cha-cha from Anita. She was amazing. This week, Charleston. A Charleston so early. This is very exciting. Yeah,
do you know what? I like Anita a lot because she has oodles of talent and she's really got that sort of... he's a new boy and they're very keen to do well. I slowed this down, Zoe, because I wanted to emphasise how good her spins were. Because with spins, it's quite difficult because you've got to keep them nice and tight and small and on the balls of your feet, and she does that brilliantly, even in those trainers. But what I think the key to a really good Charleston is to do lots of character and lots of energy.
And she's doing that.
And if she does that, it'd be great. Yeah,
nice little lift there as well. OK, Helen and Aliash, beautiful waltz last week. It was so romantic. This week, a cha-cha for them. This looks good to me. Do
you know what? I love Helen. She looks lovely. Look, she has the body of a dancer. And look at those straight legs, Zoe. That's very difficult to do. It looks a little bit stilted, and the reason it does... Let me just get this out.
Oh, it's bad. Oh, a ripple. A ripple for the wands, please.
Thank you very much. It's very special. Well, she's straightening her legs lovely, as you can see.
That's good.
But what I'm concerned about is the top area here, because what's happening is she's holding her weight and she's binding everything up too high, and she needs to settle into the hip. So she's got those straight legs, and then she needs to settle the shoulder blades into the actual hip.
Yeah.
All right. So she
looks not like that.
because she's not at the moment. She doesn't look grounded. That's the problem.
All right. So it's just sort of letting go a little bit.
It's looking earthy into the floor.
I like it.
The cha-cha's got to look like that as well as having straight legs.
It's got to be earthy, ladies and gentlemen. Ainsley and Natalie are doing a salsa this week. I think this is going to be fun.
I think this is going to be a really sizzling salsa. It really suits his personality. If anybody can do a salsa, it's Ainsley, because he's got that, and he seems to have a great rhythm inside him. I don't think the ballroom suited him so much, but I do think the Latin's going to suit him. I just wanted to emphasise a few places here, so there and there.
His hands, they are huge. Huge, big hands, big gloves.
And because they're big, Zoe, it shows more if they're in the wrong place. As you can see here, he needs to do something. It's early days yet, but he needs to... Natalie needs to give him something to do with them. And
I'll hold your wand. Show me where his hand should be.
Well, you know, if he's doing salsa, he needs to...
Oh, yes. There they go. I just like making him dance. That's for you at home, everybody. You can have your wand back. OK, next on to Anthony and Oti. You really loved his performance at the weekend, didn't you?
I thought he had the best energy last weekend. He really went for it, even with the split trousers. It didn't stop him. Here, it's not so great. I mean, I think...
They're doing a waltz, aren't they?
They're doing a waltz. And it's very in, and I don't know whether that's just a training technique that she's using, because I noticed that they're just holding in a hug hold. Maybe she's trying to get him to look at her and just go through the routine. But what he needs to do, he needs to stand up.
Reunited.
Is that
what?
It.
Yeah.
Nice way. But remember, the waltz is made of rise and fall, so he needs to have a lot of up on his toes and closing and lowering into, driving into those ones.
Overexcited. Don't
Driving into those ones, Zoe.
Okay, and moving on. I'm so overexcited.
Oh, I forgot to give him some boxing gloves.
Oh, give
as
it.
well.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
They're like
nice.
Tom and Jerry boxing gloves. I like them. Ewan and Ola. Now, he was a bit disappointed with how his tango went, so he's giving it his all this week for a cha-cha. He's determined to impress
You
the
can
judges.
say that again. Look at him. He's completely
Look on his
naked.
vest. In this weather. Look,
I'm
you
not
and
sure
your
about the
chill.
socks, actually, but no, for me, he's not the most natural of dancers, but then again, Ola won with somebody who wasn't particularly natural. That's Chris Hollins.
Evening, Chris Hollins. We love you.
Oh, I do love you. But it just goes to show her ability of teaching somebody like that. If anybody can do it, she can do it. Now, what I'd like to do is emphasise the feet, because he needs to make sure every time he does a check, he turns out the front foot and straightens the leg.
Okie dokie. Peter and Jeanette, we were so excited about these two performing, and boy, they did not let us down. This week, quick step. How?
Yeah, no, I loved their cha-cha. I felt that the characterisation could have been worked on a little bit more. But this quick step, well, if you want a light, frothy, kicky quick step, this is it. Look at it. It's absolutely brilliant. Really light on the balls of his feet. I'm not sure about the hold yet, because we are not seeing it. So hopefully his hold's brilliant, and then it's going to be a great dance.
We can't give it all away either. That would ruin it for the weekend.
That's true.
OK, let's talk about Kevin and Kelly. They're doing a cha-cha. She's singing the music in bed. Don't Go Breaking My Heart, they're dancing to. How's our girl looking?
Well, she has a great sense of performance, is what I love about Kelly. And she seems very, very focused. Every week, well, I say every week. I've only seen last week and this week. But what I wanted to just show is this, this area here. As you can see, she's doing a check there, and there was a few checks where she did, and she's got space between the legs.
Yeah.
OK? Whereas, as you can see with Kevin, he hasn't got any space at all. So you want to eradicate those and try and keep that nice and close so that you don't see the space between your legs. That's a very obvious thing, because you can see it.
It's like brakes, isn't it? Get the brakes go together.
Well, you're changing a direction, so when you're changing a direction, you're checking and changing the direction.
I love your strides, by the way. They are special. Kirsty and Brendan are doing a salsa. She looked stunning doing her waltz last week. Now she's over to the Latin dancing. How is this looking?
What I love about Kirsty is she has the look. She's tall, she's slim, she has that lovely slick back hair. She looks like a Latin dancer, doesn't she?
Oh, she does.
So if she's got all of that, she should be amazing. Now, this is a very exposing dance for the girls, salsa. For some reason, it always exposes if they're too stiff or if they're too slow. So she's got to make sure she keeps rhythmical and fast throughout, and lots of energy.
OK, I think she'll be perfect. Jamelia and Tristan, we're going to be chatting to them in a moment.
Jamelia. This
week, a cha-cha to Don't Cha by the Pussycat Dolls.
Do you know what? Another gorgeous girl on the floor, on the dance floor. When she's dressed up in her outfits, she looks amazing. So there are a few points. Like before, the check again, I heard her in the background.
Jamelia.
And then the hand. So look at that check. She turns in the foot again.
OK.
That's 3 times we see a check, a Cuban break without the turnout, and the hand.
What should she be doing?
Well,
with
she's
the
got a
hand?
bit of a passo hand going in
Okay.
there. Make sure they're Latin, a proper Latin hand. Take it out rather than up, maybe.
You got all that, Jamelia, darling?
I've got it.
She's got it, yes.
Other than that, she's gorgeous.
You're gorgeous. Ian is back tomorrow. A second helping look at the rest of our couples. But for now, it's so good to have him back. I feel very warmed up. Ian Waite. Oh, I do love him. Right, now, my next guest